Welcome to Get Cooking at Maggie's Place. Today I'm going to make stuffed green peppers. And we're going to start out with Italian sausage. There's actually going to be two meats in this, which will be the sausage and the hamburger. Add about half a cup of water and cover them. Our Italian sausage is browned up nicely on one side. And it's already starting to get the other side nice and brown. Just wanted to get some color and some caramelization. And now I've added my half a cup of water and let them steam and cook through. While we're waiting for the sausage to cook, let's move on to our next ingredients. We're going to be cutting up our mushrooms, fresh parsley, garlic clove, half of an onion, celery, and of course the tops of the celery. Start with the mushrooms. And I did buy them pre-sliced, but they're awful big. And this is going to be more like a stuffing recipe because we're going to be adding hamburger and the sausage into the green pepper. So I want everything to be pretty much the same size. And remember, when you cook mushrooms, they are going to cook down because they have a lot of water in them. And do not rinse them off under the sink. They are like a sponge. They'll absorb all of that liquid and then they're just not very good. And we're going to cut up our onion. And we're basically just going to go down one side. And then I'm going to turn it and go down the other. Next, I've gone ahead and split a big stalk of celery. And I'm going to go ahead and split that again. And we'll chop that up. Doesn't have to be too small, but we're not making soup, so just make it into some nice small pieces. And of course the little celery leaves, we'll cut them up. Some fresh parsley, give that a nice run through, and our garlic clove. I'm just going to give it a bang. This is a nice big clove of garlic. And then put it into slices. And there we have it. Our sausage is coming along quite nicely. And as you can see, most of the water has evaporated out. We're going to pull our sausage. And what's left is some of the fat and the delicious flavor from our sausage. And I'm going to add just a little bit more oil. Some good light virgin olive oil. And mix that in. And then we're going to add our vegetables. There we go. Give them a nice little stir. And of course, add some salt. Helps to sweat out the nice flavors from the celery and the onions and the mushrooms. So we're going to leave this uncovered and let it simmer and get these little veggies all nice and soft. When you're picking out your peppers, you want to get a good sized pepper, but not something too big. We're going to turn it over and we're going to cut off about just the top part of it. And then we're going to save that top. And then we're going to reach in and just gently pull out the little packet of seeds. And now we have a nice clean pepper on the inside to put our filling in. Also, you want to make sure that it's going to sit upright. And if your pepper does happen to have like a wobble or it's just not even, just take like a little sliver off of the bottom. But you don't want to cut into the pepper. You just want to cut off that little sliver so that it stands nicely. I removed the vegetables and set them aside with the sausage. And now I've got a little bit of oil and our hamburger meat. And I'm going to probably put in about a pound of hamburger meat. And for all the ingredients and the measurements, you know you can go to maggiesplacecookbook.info. And to that we're going to add a little bit of salt. And some freshly cracked black pepper. And give that a little good. Mix it up. And we'll put on our lid and let that cook through. While our hamburger is browning up, I've boiled some water and I'm added to it what is called Orzo. It is pasta, but it looks just like rice, and it does make a nice addition to this stuffing for our green peppers. We're going to cook that for about 9 minutes to make it al dente. Our hamburger meat is now browned, and we're ready to add our other ingredients to make this wonderful stuffing for our green pepper. Our orzo, and we're going to add that. Like I said, some people add rice. I prefer the orzo. We're going to put our vegetables back in, our lovely mushrooms and our celery and our onion. And I went ahead and cut up the Italian sausages that we cooked up earlier. And we're also going to add some oregano, basil, onion powder, and some fresh cracked pepper. Also a bit of salt. And we're going to give this a good mix. And 2 more ingredients that are going to really make this delish is a small can of tomato paste, and we'll blend that in, and that's what's binding it together. You see how now it's looking more like a stuffing instead of everything hanging out there. And also I'm going to add a few handfuls, and I mean handfuls, there we go, of mozzarella. Now I turned the heat off on this burner because I just really want to use this pan that's just been continually having all these wonderful flavors in it. It's more like an easy skillet dinner than anything. And we're going to mix it all together. We're ready to put our stuffed peppers together. So what I'm going to do is, in a oven safe dish, I'm going to put some of our sauce down. And you can use your own homemade sauce, or you could buy sauce from the grocery store that's ready made. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our pepper, and we're going to take a spoonful of our stuffing. And we're just going to mash it down in there. And we'll take another spoonful. Because this is already cooked. We just basically want the flavors to run through, and we want the cheese to melt. So we're going to set that right there, and we're going to go ahead and fill up another one. Now the mixture that I gave you, that's probably, you'll be able to fill about these size peppers, probably about 4 or 5 of them. And it's not bad. If you have any left over, just put it in the freezer and save it for another day. So there we go. We have our green peppers in our pot, and then if you wanted to, you can add a little bit more, which I always do, some cheese to the top of it. Just a little bit to melt over. And we're also going to put on our tops. A little bit more sauce over everything. And we're ready to go into the oven. I would cook this on 350 degrees for about 30 minutes. Our peppers are done, and they're hot out of the oven. The cheese has melted on the inside, and they're not too mushy. They're just soft and absolutely delicious. Let's take the top off of this one and let you see the filling inside. It's beautiful and lots of flavor. Now the last thing that I would do with this is I would top it with a little bit of grated Parmesan cheese, just for some extra flavor and for something that looks very pretty. And there you have it, our stuffed green peppers. I hope you've enjoyed this recipe, and for these and many more, go to Maggie'sPlaceCookbook.info.